In my experience, what's happening is that I really like reading scriptures, so have been reading it for quite some time. But with time, what I've observed is that earlier there used to be a freshness, and it would stay with me. There was a sense of excitement also. Of late, I see that missing. So if if I face a situation, all that comes back to me. But that excitement, and which used to give a hope that okay, there's some change happening. So that seems to be missing. Not able to really read the situation. So if you could, help me out here.
You see, the nature of the mind must not be forgotten. Because the mind is never happy with itself, therefore it is looking for continuous change. It will look for change even in scriptures. And you cannot resist that. Because the mind will keep acting unhappy and dissatisfied even as you are reading the scripture. And the scripture is meant to be fed to the mind, and the mind becomes an unwilling recipient. So all that becomes very inefficient. You are reading, spending time, and the mind is not quite partaking in the process. So what do? You say, fine, you want change, I'll give you change. You don't need to read only one kind of scripture all the time. There is so much diversity even in spiritual literature. Even Vedant has hundreds of texts. And then there are the Zen koan, there is a Sufi literature, there are the stories from European mystics. Obviously you have the Chinese, the Japanese, you have Lao Tzu, Li Tzu. There is so much. Or you could go to the epics and see what they are trying to say. Or if the mind has become resistant to the written word itself, then why not watch maybe videos? Go to let's say Jiddu Krishnamurti. There is ample video content available. And if the mind is saying I have a problem with the word itself, whether written or spoken, then attempt action. Spirituality or spiritual practice is not just about reading. It's also about acting. Act to learn. You're getting it? So
please elaborate. Act to learn.
The scripture is telling you that you have to challenge that within you which keeps you as you are. See how you can challenge it in action, whether at your workplace or at home, in the physical sense, in all senses that constitute your personality. Even in the sense of the clothes you wear, the company you keep, the way you manage your house, the way you look, the way you eat. How is the ego not finding a crystallized expression in our fixed diets? When we talk of the ego finding security in the past, one of the things that comes from there is our diet. Even challenging that might be a part of the spiritual process. But don't blame yourself. this is something that is bound to happen even with sincere seekers. The mind has a tendency to seek change even in the truth, because that's what the mind is, this tendency itself. So irrespective of how noble is the text you are reading, how great are the words, you will soon get kind of fed up and bored. Boredom, that's the one of the central descriptions of mind. It's always bored, but it can not take audacious steps to get rid of its boredom. Play games with the mind. Play games. Listen to music. There is so much of devotional music there. Listen to Kabir Amritvani. Listen to a recitation of the Guru Granth Sahib or the Ramcharitmanas. There are several ways to give the mind what it wants and still keep taking it in the right direction.
Namaste, Acharyaji.
Namaste.
Acharyaji, on my spiritual journey, I was led onto this journey through my personal relations. And as I keep going, and as I went ahead, and I keep going now, I am extremely curious, and I'm extremely attracted to what is there in store for me. But sometimes I suspect my motives. If I'm doing it for the highest, really, or if it's the personal relations that are propelling me on. And sometimes as I said, the attraction is just too much that I don't even care about this. But I'm really worried sometimes that is there a pitfall that I should be aware of in my situation?
See, the ego is such that it will never move towards the right thing with absolutely the right intention. Even to go towards the temple, it needs to be tempted with prasad, the sweets that the priests give you. Otherwise, the kids won't go to the temple at all. So you need not suspect that there is some problem or issue. Be convinced that there indeed is a problem. And the problem is that you are approaching spiritual literature or spirituality itself because of personal reasons. That is indeed the case. Take that for granted. But there is no need to be disappointed because of it. That's the way we all are. I repeat, even to move to the highest, we need to be given some lowly reason. And blessed be the lowly reason that takes you to the highest. Right? Takes you to the highest and then excuses itself. Or takes you to the highest and then you find that there is no separation. Because at the highest, this, that, separation, conflict, all that anyway disappear. Right? So irrespective of what makes you move in the right direction, keep moving. And know fully well that there is nobody who ever got into spirituality because he wanted to disappear. You cannot tell the ego, I am taking you to a place to die. You have to tell her, come, we'll have fun. You are not lying. The disappearance of ego is good fun. But you have to counsel her in a language she understands. You have to offer her a bait she'll accept. Right? And then at some point you will say, I'm glad I have been cheated. Because there was no way to bring me to the right place without cheating me. That's how I am. Had somebody straight away told me, I'm holding your hand so that both of us merge into dissolution, you would have never accepted to hold the hand. No? So a little bit of cheating is needed. Cheating in love, not cheating of a kind for self-interest. Blessed is such a cheat, I said. Later on you thank him or her, whatever. Later on. In the middle of the journey you keep cursing. The bugger has made my life hell and I curse the moment I got into a relationship and these things. But at some point, if you let the person stay alive till that moment, you'll thank him